What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me with Buzzing with Marlowe live, live, live. I say it again, live. I hope all is well. Happy Friday. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, and many, many, many more. Also, guys, we have a Tumblr, guys. Yes. Hashtag I have a Tumblr. Guys, also, you see these merch, you see the tank tops. I know everybody asks me, like, gosh dang, Warren, you always wear tank tops. But you know what, guys? It's my own tank top. You see the Buzzing with Marlowe logo. So, guys, you can check it out on the Bonfire Shop / Buzzing with Marlowe and check out our merch store. You can get options like a hat. You could also get 5 different types of hat. 5, guys. You can get this one, the new in style the dad cap, I guess that's what everybody calls it. You can get the beanie, the ones that have the long strings on the side, which we live in Florida. I live in Florida, so I don't know if that's a style with the hats over here because I don't think it gets that cold, but you have that options. And also, guys, you have the little knit caps as well. So check out, get you a hat. You have 5 different colors on it. Also, guys, you can get these awesome tank tops. We have 4 different colors you can get with them. I have 3 of them already. I'm waiting on the gray one to come in. You can get red, white, and blue, and now gray. Pushing for a black one and stuff like that because it actually just shows the logo a little bit more. But I love the blue because it gives me like that Spider-Man feel. So that's the one reason why I like the blue one. Also, guys, you can check out the hoodies. We have the hoodies. You have 6 different colors on those. There's just a sample right there with me with the white one. I love the colors that can really express to show the logo. I think that's really the main focal on it. Also, guys, you can get you a V-neck shirt. You can get you a basic shirt, long sleeves, and a 3/4 sleeve shirts. Those are actually the most popular ones. Also, guys, we have the toddler edition, the youth ones as well. My kids both have one. They love them. They're very comfortable. The quality on these shirts are really shockingly really good. I'm very picky when it comes to my clothing, and I will wear these regular anywhere. Honestly, I would. And if nobody knows me, you could ask my wife. I am very picky when it comes to my clothes. I'm almost as picky when it comes to my clothes as someone touching my hair for a haircut. But I got these awesome Buzzing with Marlowe hats, so I gotta wear the hat to show this show because it's my hat. Like, hey, how many people get to say they can wear their own brand hat? Like, you really can't. So I embrace that. I love it. Also, guys, shout out to everyone that we have had on just this season alone, man. This is episode 108. 108, guys. We are going strong. This is season 4. 8 episodes in now. We're at 8 episodes in. For season 4, it's super crazy, super crazy. Shout out to everyone we have had so far. Shout out to everyone from season 3. Shout out for everyone from season 2, and shout out for everyone in season 1. Like, we have had such a big growth on transitioning with the podcast. Like, it's just been super inspiring, blessed, everything. Like, I cannot say enough. Like, it's just super awesome, super freaking awesome. But guys, I know everybody's ready. I know everybody's waiting to find out who's our new guest, but I want to give a couple of shout outs. Also, guys, I want to just say it's so good to have my boys back. And here's a sample of what I'm talking about. Live again on 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. Guys, it's going to be so much great times. Like, I got my boy Dre on Wheels from the 1130 podcast. I got Off the Top Ropes podcast on Shiz the Blackheart Linsky and Cyber Yeti, and yours truly from the Buzzing with Marlowe podcast and Commission Talks. And it's going to be big, guys. We're going to have a lot to talk about. There's been a lot going on with wrestling and just a lot about sports. So tune in on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, or you could also tune in on Friday for Dre's segment because we all alternate on the episodes and stuff from our channels. Mine and Shiz is from Off the Top Ropes podcast will be on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Dre's will be on 1 o'clock Eastern p.m. Eastern time on Friday from 11:30 Talk Pro Wrestling, where we come on and do our commission talks episode with him on that, and that's going to be the first one for September 20th. I'm excited. It's going to be so much fun. Shout out to my boy Dre on Wheels from the 11:30 podcast. He is now a daddy, guys. Round of applause. My boy is a daddy now. It's just a beautiful thing. Just an awesome dude, and it's great to actually see he actually get to have a son and just have a family. It's really awesome. Shout out to Off the Top Ropes podcast. They've been killing it. Shout out to my boy Chiz. He's all over the place. All over the place. When I say on Thursdays, he's on WrestleNary. If you think you have wrestling knowledge and you think you could, if you think you got the chance to win the WrestleNary title, go on, hit my boy up and get on WrestleNary. I'm telling y'all right now, guys, the smallest details of those questions will get you. I thought I had great trivia questions of wrestling, which I knew most of the questions, but just the little bit would make me miss the answer because it was just like those in-depth details that really would affect you to answer the questions wrong. Shout out to my boy Blackheart for WrestleNary. He is killing it, doing it out there. Also, shout out to his ladies. His ladies, they are the CNC Connection. That's right, guys. I'm talking about Char C and Miss Queen Courtney from the CNC Connection on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. They are two females that talk about the world of pro wrestling in their perspective, and they have awesome guests. They have a great, great time, great personalities. They're great women in general. Like, they literally have a great mind when it comes to the world of pro wrestling. Yeah, shout out to my boys, the PUWF. They're on every Wednesdays and Fridays. And obviously you can check out my boy Alex Coquito all through the week on Twitch. Just a lot of moves, man. Shout out to my boy Dan Harris from Let's Talk Sports Network. I am the spokesperson of the Pro Wrestling Channel. Not totally sure exactly what date we're going to really get that going, but I will be doing that once a week. Also, later on, this is now, I'm on episode 108, and I am got awesome. Feels kind of spooky right now. Right? I don't know. Like, it's a different vibe coming in because this episode is going to be really, really interesting, guys. That's right, guys. I'm going to be joined with Ellanore Wagner. Ellanore, the nickname, the She Ghostbuster, the Ghostbuster lady. I mean, she is the one to know about paranormal and the ghost and all this stuff. Guys, I'm not kidding when I say this. She's got books written on this, on paranormal stuff like this. And I mean, we're going to tackle into it. We're going to get into it. So, guys, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm interested to know more about this. Everybody knows about me. You know, that movie with Paranormal Activity and stuff like that. That gets me all over the place. So I'm interested to know about this. This is going to be really cool because this is going to be way out of my element. I'm looking forward to knowing what I'm going to learn from this. So, guys, let's sit back. We're going to relax. And
I interrupt this regularly scheduled podcast so I could give a message to the American prodigy. I hear you loud and clear. October 1st, DCCW, McClenny, Florida, you showed up. You made your presence known, and you almost cost me the match. See, before, it was business. Now, it's very much personal. So, American prodigy, watch your back, because the prodigy is about to become a nightmare. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. But the only thing you're going to hear is that I'm El Niño, an American prodigy. One way or the other, you will subscribe.
All right, I'm joined with Ellanore Wagner. How you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Eleanor, you gotta tell me if nobody knows who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Ellanore Wagner, and I live in New Jersey, in Sussex County. I was born and raised in the Bronx, but
Okay.
ventured here after we got married and have been living now in New Jersey for over 30 years. And it's haunted. The town is haunted, the county's haunted, and all the surrounding counties are haunted. So I decided to write about it and
Mm-hmm.
haven't stopped since.
Ooh, ooh. You said it's haunted just instantly. Ooh, man. All right, I'm excited to know about this. So, have you? So, like you just said, you were born in the Bronx. So, like you've been in and out of New York basically your entire life, correct? Okay.
Sorry.
Have you, like how you just said you were born in the Bronx area and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So have
hmm
you been basically around that area your entire life, basically? Or
Well, I was born and raised in the Bronx, and when we got married, then we ended up moving to Sussex County.
okay,
But the house that I grew up in the Bronx was from like the 20s, and I lived with a ghost in that home. I
you
saw it
live
since I
with a
was a
what?
kid. A ghost. I was haunted. My house was haunted, the home that I lived in. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I was a little kid, but I was
How's
terrified.
that feeling?
It was really scary for a kid. You get visited by this ghost every single night, and then I'd freak
Uh
out
huh.
and run to my parents' room. My parents would say, "Oh, you just had a dream," and it wasn't a dream. He just knew I could see him and was trying to get my attention, but he didn't know it because I was too young to understand it until I grew into adulthood and then realized, oh, he was trying to get my attention. And I wish I could go back to the house now and say, sorry, sorry, I ignored you and I didn't know you wanted to talk to me, but I was too young to understand.
Not just a dream anymore. Like this is a legit thing. Like this is not
Well,
make believe. Like this is.
I was having dreams when I was a kid too, premonitions, and they came true. And one of them was pretty terrifying when it came true. I had this, they came to me in dreams, and then I would wake up and tell mom, this is what I dreamt. And one of them, like I said, was pretty scary. And when I told my mom about it, she said it was just a dream, don't worry about it. But then it ended up coming true and it freaked me out. So I kind of like shut down. I didn't want anything to do with any of the premonitions and the paranormal for years. And it wasn't until I turned 30 and it was the day my dad passed away and he came to let me know that he was gone. And then I was like, oh, I really got to start listening to whatever this is that's going on with
Uh-huh.
me, this kind of gift that I have. And just, I really need to start paying attention. So I did. And I was reading everything that I could up on paranormal and premonitions and
So how was
everything that I
that
could get my
research
hands
and
on, really.
background? Was that kind of scary feeling like this is supposed to be make believe. Like this is legit not supposed to be something happening and you're seeing it, you're experiencing it stuff like how was that like researching that background and it's like, "Oh, this is not like a superhero film. This is legit. Like, all right, I've got this around me all the time." And like how people say they got these rare causes, like one out of three out of millions of people. Like you're getting to experience that stuff. So how's that feeling?
I've never ever thought that it was make believe or that it shouldn't happen. I know that it existed. I just didn't want to believe that I was able to
See it, yeah.
experience it in that way. So once I got past that part and said, okay, well, I've been given this gift, I should do something with it, and I wanted to learn as much as I could about being my best me, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was a mom at the time, raising kids. Once they were full grown, is when I really actually started to put myself more into this career mode of,
Mm-hmm.
all right, now I've got this gift. I'm a writer. I've been writing forever, so I'm going to write these books and see where it takes me. And I listened to that inner voice. I wrote that first book on the hauntings because I've written other things. I wrote, my first book was called Dream a Little Dream. It's a psychological thriller. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always put my hand in other pots, but the thought to write about true account hauntings came to mind because so many people are experiencing things around the country, around the world, and they don't understand why it's happening and why they're experiencing it, and they like to talk about it. So I know the Bronx was haunted in that home, and I know that Sussex County, where I live, is haunted because I owned an antique shop that was haunted. So I'm thinking, I like a good ghost story. Let me see if there's anybody out there that wants to share theirs with me. So
Mm-hmm.
social media is this great platform that you can put it out there, and I did. And my phone didn't stop dinging for weeks. People were coming out of the woodwork with their stories, and I was only looking for stories in the county where I lived, but I had people coming
Uh-huh.
from surrounding counties. So I started collecting folders. I started saving these stories because I said, I'm going to write about Sussex County, but maybe I'll end up writing books about the other counties.
Mm-hmm.
Where I thought Sussex County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena was going to be one book, I already wrote
Mm-hmm.
book 2. Book 3 is coming out this Halloween, and in between, I wrote Warren County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena, and then
Okay.
after that, I'm going to work on Pike County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena. So it's kind of taken off. People have really received it well, and loved the history that I write about, because I don't only write. I write about the landscape of life and then the spirits that live there. So I'll talk about a certain town, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
give the readers history on the town, and then if I know the history of the location that I'm writing about, then I talk about that. And then I'll tell them the ghost stories that people have shared with me. And then if my paranormal team gets to go in there and do an investigation, then I get to tell the readers what we experienced as a paranormal team. And the team is people that I've comprised over the years, that I've interviewed, that are sensitive, just like normal people like you and I, who have the sensitivity to spirit. And when we're all together, we really have this great energy and are able to connect with spirit and get down to what the spirit is trying to say, that they want to be acknowledged. The people that live in the home able to cope with the spirit if we can't get it to go into the light, and then helping each other out to grow our gifts to better ourselves. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what do you mean like coming into the light? What do you mean by that?
Okay, when I'm sure you've heard the premise that when someone dies, there's the light that they could walk to that takes them into the ever after in paradise, heaven, however you want to
Okay.
refer to it. Well, ghosts are stuck here. They've remained behind and they have not gone through that light. And what we try to explain to them is that if you go through the light, you can come back and visit anytime you want. But if you don't and you stay here, then you're kind of stuck. And most of the time we get them to move on, but then there are those select few that are very adamant that they're happy just remaining behind and doing what they're doing. And so you have to try to get the people that live in the home or own that business to be able to live in
With
harmony with
somebody else.
these
Yeah, yeah,
spirits that are, yeah, that's there with them. And you want to hear something funny? When I was writing the first book, it was just going to be Sussex County hauntings and hauntings about Sussex County. But then all these people came out of the woodwork about Bigfoot stories in High Point State Mountain, which is right over the mountain where I live, and then UFO stories. So I'm thinking, these stories were so good. How am I going to get them into my hauntings book? So I just added the tag and other strange phenomena, and it worked out great because now with all the other books, I kind of delve into other areas of paranormal. I've talked about near-death experiences, or when we get visits from our deceased loved ones, those little visits that, like I said, my dad came to me, that sort of thing. Or if someone's been with their loved one at their time of death, those are really inspiring, poignant stories, and really help people with their grief
really,
and
that's
their
happened
faith,
before?
with the faith. Yeah, it's amazing. And then this new book that I'm coming out with, I'm going to talk about reincarnation. So the other strange phenomena category has enabled me to um, delve into other areas. And I've been speaking to people all over the country and all over the world now because of those other chapters. In fact, I'm adding chapters about other areas of New Jersey, other areas of the country, and other areas of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's enabled me to branch out and offer whatever it is that I'm doing to other people that have interests in the
Mm-hmm.
paranormal. And it's not just focused on my area alone.
That's crazy. So I gotta tell me a little bit more. So like how you say they could either come to light or they could like just be there. So what is their main purpose of staying in that area? Like I'm very interested to know like what's their purpose of being there? Like why are they not leaving to like what you
There
said,
could
the
be,
light where they could come and go?
There could be several reasons why they're here. It could be that they died tragically and didn't know that they died, or it could be that they have a strong attachment to wherever it is that they live and they don't want to leave what they have on the earthly plane. Or it could be even as something as much as they're afraid to go into the light because they're afraid of being judged, or they're afraid they're going to get in trouble. It could be religious reasons, because religion can be really like overwhelming. If somebody's got this guilt about something, they might be afraid of what they're going to have to go through when they get to the other side. So there could be a number of reasons why somebody stays behind.
Hmm. Okay. So that's really interesting to know. So, like you said, you were writing a book just based off of your county, your town area and stuff. And then when you expressed yourself and you showed, hey, this is what I deal with. What are some other things that other people deal with? Like, and you said your phone was just nonstop ringing, nonstop. And
Yeah.
it was just like, you realize like you're not the only one there. Like this is a normal thing. Like people really are experiencing this stuff.
All the time. All the time. Yeah.
So
But
how's
this is
that
not
process
something.
work? How's that process work? So how, like you just said, like most of them like took a traumatizing death and stuff. So is that in everyone, that everyone will be a ghost or something like that, or is that, how's that work? I'm just
Not,
curious. I've never known anything like that.
no, not at all. I mean, mostly everybody crosses over and goes into the other
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
to heaven. And they, I mean, we get visits from our deceased loved ones all the time. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of people even not only just seeing them, or seeing them in dreams, or seeing them in their home, or experiencing things that they know is them, but
Hmm.
people pick up on in birds, and in dragonflies, in hummingbirds. They have, everybody's got their own little symbol that reminds them of a deceased loved one. So we get visitations from them all the time. It's not
Hmm.
just everybody's going to be a ghost. No, it's
Right.
just that happens.
That's interesting to know. So you said you got your group of paranormal team and stuff like that. So how was that built up? Was that built up based off of when you sent it out to social media and you wanted to see reactions, or have y'all all been real close and it was just like y'all just try to find something to get it built up?
Nothing like that. It was totally random. I interview hundreds
Hmm.
of people for my books, and it was really a funny experience. I was interviewing a president from the Sterling Hill mines in Ogdensburg, New Jersey, here in Sussex County, and he is a scientist, and he's saying, "I'm not supposed to believe in this stuff. I'm a scientist, but I can't explain what's going on over here, and it's happening in the mines and it's happening in the buildings, but they're really old, so I guess I could understand it. Why don't you bring your paranormal team in for an investigation and see what you guys can unearth?" And I was like, "Yeah, great, I'd love that." But I didn't have a paranormal team. I didn't tell them that. So I'm like, okay, well, I've gone on vacation weekends with friends of mine doing paranormal investigations in well-known haunting areas in the community. And so I meet people along the way. And there was one paranormal team that lived close by, and we connected on Facebook, and we were talking to one another over the years. So I thought, well, let me reach out to them and see if a few of them want to come on this adventure with me. And then I reached out to some of the people that I had interviewed and said, "Hey, I know I really don't know you that well, but I know you said that you love the paranormal and you always wanted to go on an investigation. Here's your opportunity. Want to join
Hmm.
me?" And that's how I got that original group together. And it just kind of happened that I started calling us the Lady Ghostbusters, and it stuck. And uh, pretty much everybody that started with me then has remained, and the group has grown, and people have come and gone, but it
Hmm.
still exists. I mean, right now we have a
Okay.
steady group of 9
Hmm.
members that are on the team, and we go investigating pretty much every weekend in houses and businesses around the community. But
Oh, really? Okay.
that one original investigation, which was totally amazing, being in the mines for like 6 hours and then coming out and investigating the grounds. We got some great footage. Everybody had their videos going. The mediums were really on a roll, connecting. They were really in sync with one another and getting some good shit. And then we had this experience with this like misty white smoky kind of thing that was communicating to, when we asked it to produce more smoke? It did. And then it would dissipate. And then we'd say, do it again. And it did it again. And this happened several times. And all of us had our cameras rolling. So I said, let me take the best footage, because everybody always sends me whatever it is that they take that night, because they know I'm writing a chapter about it in my book. So if people have taken photographs, or if they've caught evidence on camera, or they've taken video, they usually send it to me. So I have it. So when I'm compiling the book, I always put that stuff on my website for readers, so that they know that they can go to the website and they could check out the footage and stuff. So I picked out the best footage from that particular incident and sent it into Paranormal Caught on Camera, and they liked it so much they did a feature on us on one of their episodes. So that was really cool. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Hey, that's interesting. So y'all say y'all go every weekend and stuff like that. Where's the furthest y'all have traveled to do a paranormal investigation?
The furthest that we've traveled, I want to say it's probably like an hour and a half out. Most of them are private residences, because people who read my books now know that this is what I do. So I get messages all the time from people saying, I live in a haunted house. I mean, people talk about it now.
Is that the first thing they introduce, is like, hey, I don't know who you are, but they say you the lady Ghostbuster, come get this. Come here. I need to know what's going on.
That's exactly what it is. And they oftentimes send me footage from like their home cameras, their security cameras, or a picture that they caught, and they go, look what's going on. And, people talk about it now, but say 10 years ago, they probably would have been scared to talk about it, but it's so openly spoken about nowadays that people are not afraid. So they'll reach out to me and they'll send me these pictures and the videos, and they'll say, do you think it's paranormal? Because I really think I think it is. And then I'll look at the footage, and oftentimes share it with other members of the team, and then we'll kind of decide whether we think it is or it isn't. And I mean, we're not perfect. We don't get it right all the time. I mean, the people that I have on the team now are really experts in what goes on. They've been doing it for a really long time. But, there was occasion that we were all pretty much novices too, some of the team members, and not really know. And so we try to make the best assessment that we can, and debunk something if we don't think it's paranormal. But pretty much, I want to say 99% of the time, we will take on a case where we can just go and see for ourselves in the building, the home, the business, or whatever it is, and kind of assess what's going on, and help them to deal with whatever it is that they're living with.
Okay. All right, Ellanore, I'm going to talk more into your investigation thing, because I'm very intrigued to know more about this. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Guys, just wait a little bit. We're going to go on a quick little commercial break. And Ellanore, we are going to be joined back, and I'm going to want to know way more about that paranormal experiences and stuff. So, guys, we're going to be on a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Ellanore. Like, this is... oh my gosh, I really don't even want to take the break, but yeah. We'll be back real soon, guys.
people to keep them happy. And I have to miss my children now so that they can not be pulled out of the school they're in. So they, you know what I mean? It's hard. It is definitely,
Trust me.
it is a hard circumstance. And I relate to you when you're like, hey, I don't get to drop my kid off at school and stuff. Yeah. I trust me. I understand.
It hits me like my last visit with Matthew. Bro, people look at me crazy when I tell them, like, I get him 5 times out of a year. And with him being special needs and stuff, it's even tougher, but like, because it's just like, man, it hurts so bad because it's like, I sit there and resent myself at times because I'm sitting there, I'm like, did I do something wrong? Did I do something this? Because now Matthew's at this age where he's understanding this stuff. He's going to school and he's looking at me going, Daddy, why do I have 2 mommies? Why do I have 2 daddies? And it's just like, I can't answer it. And I never want to tell him the reason why we're apart. And that's one hard pill for me because I love that woman to death in that other room because she's put up with a lot of stuff with me from the wrestling time. I mean, she is a trophy wife right now. Like, I should not be married at all because I refused it for the longest time. And I remember actually her first match, bro, believe it or not, was when we wrestled at Stampede.
That was it. Oh,
that was the first time, and that was Matthew's first one too. That was Matthew's first one, my dad's, and my wife's first one to ever see live. Gotcha. And like, it's just crazy, like how much everything has changed because I used to be.
Maybe like I nearly lost it last night. I was like, "Yo, calm down. Just call him directly and tell him this."
Hey, yo, when he
Dre's trying to take me with him too.
When he sent the voice clip back over, he was like, "Man, get your ass back here." Hey, yo, I was dying laughing, man. It was so funny. It was so funny, man. And I was like, "All right, man, I'm back here, man," because he was just like, "That's what my man who was proposing to be my man said." Hey, yo, send me your number, man. I got locked out, blah, blah, blah. Trying to get the code. And I was like, oh, shit. That's key words right there.
Said, not again,
bro. I'm over here
trying to hold my anger so hard. So when I hit the record button, I'm like, yo, Trey, you know the fuck that it's me. Like, God damn it. Like, why can't you do that? Like, so right after I said that, man, I called her right the fuck away. I was like, yo, you know it's me that's asking you about this fucking question. So, you know what happened.
That joke had me dying.
All right, guys, we are back. We are joined once again with Ellanore. Ellanore, I gotta get right into it. So when you investigate, so when y'all go on these investigations and stuff, so what are the typical things that people instantly think that there's paranormal activity inside their house? Is it because of things just random sounds, or what's the main things that people are really like very cautious on?
Most of the people that have paranormal activity in their home, most of them, not all, but most are sensitive to some degree, so that they have a sensitivity to spirits, so they may see them. They may see an apparition. They may see a dark shadow. and that's an indication that they have haunting because they actually see the apparition. But then it's also accompanied with other things, odd sounds, footsteps, giggling, voices, things being moved around the house, things disappearing, showing up somewhere else, that sort of thing. And
Hold on, you said giggling?
Sure, if there are children ghosts, a lot of the time
Oh,
people
Lord.
hear the children giggling, or let's
Oh,
just say,
Lord.
here's another one. You have kids and they have all their toys and they put them away, and then all of
Uh-huh,
a
yeah.
sudden you hear somebody playing with the toys in the middle of the night. You get up and they're all being moved around, or that you wake up in the morning and they're all over the floor, or you go in to check on your kid and the kid's sleeping, but all the toys are on the floor, kind of stuff like that. But these are all little indications or indicators that something is going on in the house. I mean, a lot of the times the children can see, because children are very receptive to this
Mm-hmm.
sort of stuff. So if the adults are
Right.
not, the kids will say, there's a little boy that I've been playing with, and there's a little boy that wants to play with me, but it's always in the middle of the night and I tell him I'm tired, stuff like that. And when we go in, we usually end up finding out that, yeah, if there is a spirit of a child who passed away, whether it was in the home from years ago or on the property. A home doesn't have to be old to be haunted either. It could be the property that's active.
Really?
But
Okay,
yeah,
that's interesting to know. Okay.
sure, because you don't know what was there before your house was built, right?
Right.
A
Okay.
lot of the times too, it could be a deceased loved ones. We've gone on many an investigation thinking that it was something paranormal that we couldn't explain, and then it ends up being a deceased loved one just coming in trying to get their attention. And
Oh, wow.
we've gotten EVPs too of them speaking on an audio recorder in response to questions that we've asked. It's pretty cool stuff when you get that. I mean, paranormal investigations can be quite boring because you could be there for hours and nothing can happen. But when something does happen, it's really, really cool, especially if you have a lot of sensitive people in your group. That extra energy kind of stirs things up because the
Mm-hmm.
spirits see that you're all sensitive and they're drawn to you. And if you guys are a positive energy, it really makes for a good investigation.
Okay. So the more sensitive you are, the more easier it is for them to attach themselves to you.
They're not
Right?
they're not attaching. The attachment is very different than they're trying to get your attention. They
Okay.
know that you're sensitive. They know you can hear them. Like we went on an investigation once at an antique shop. They had cleansed it and gotten rid of most of the spirits, but there were some lingering behind. When we went there, we were trying to communicate and connect with them, and we were doing that. But one of the mediums that was with us kept on saying, "I see this young kid standing in the corner listening, and it seems like he wants to say something." And she had described him. Now I live in a different county from some of those members that were there, and I know about the activity that was going on in the building, and I don't tell any of the team members because they want to figure it out themselves. So it's kind of almost,
Mm-hmm.
almost a way of corroborating things. But they weren't privy to an accident that happened locally just a few weeks prior to this investigation, where a young kid in high school died in a freak farming accident.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was describing this kid in the corner, and the way she described it, I guess my sensitivity and my gifts, I'm empathic, tuned me into the fact that it might be this young man. And I was like, oh my God. And I knew his name because I knew him, not personally, but I knew of his case. It was in the newspapers. I knew which school he went to, that whole thing. So I asked and I said, are you so and so? And he was like, he jumped right away that he was. And it was like, oh my God, like this poor kid must have been wandering around trying to get somebody's attention and couldn't get him, because you have to be sensitive in order for that to be the case. And here he
Mm-hmm.
comes into a room where he knew we were sensitive, and he didn't know that he had passed away. And we had
Oh,
uh,
wow.
difficult task of explaining to him what happened and then helping him into the light. It was pretty sad. I mean, we were all women that night and we were all hysterical crying because nobody wanted to have to tell this kid that he was gone and he needed to move into the light. So it was really, really sad, but we were
How do
glad that
you
we
how
were
do
able
you
to
tell
help
them?
him.
How did y'all explain that to him?
We tried to be as compassionate and kind and mothering as we possibly could. We didn't tell him what happened to him, but we said to him that you did pass away in an accident and your family is okay, because he was really worried about his family and his girlfriend. And we were like, everyone is okay. But this is what happened to you. And if you turn around and you look and you see that bright light is waiting for you to walk into it. And when you do go, there'll be other loved ones there to greet you and help you into your next journey. And we ended up getting him to go to the light. But, you know, it's really sad because you feel their emotions, and he was really scared and he was really sad and very confused, and understandably so, right? Because whatever had happened to him was sudden and quick and unexpected. And so we had that daunting task of having to tell him that. And so it was emotional and sad all at the same time as being happy and grateful we were able to help him move on.
Right. So what's the most scariest encounter that you've experienced? Like going on a trip or something?
Personally, the scariest thing I've ever had. Actually, there are two kinds of things. There is when you have a spirit that's angry or mean. Put it this way: if spirits were humans before, so if they were mean and nasty people in life, they're going to be mean and nasty people in death. And if they're angry that you're in their house and they don't want you there, they're going to be mean ghosts. And so they can scratch you, they can try and push you downstairs. So those things have happened, and that's frightening. But it's also very frightening when you have a person that is carrying attachments. Remember before I was telling you their attachment is something that's different. If a ghost attaches to somebody, it can really change the person's behaviors. Or if that person is a sponge for this sort of thing, there can be a shitload of activity going on in their home, and they're unintentionally drawing it to them. So that can be really scary to have to deal with somebody like that and have to explain to them that they're the problem.
So you said
I'm sorry,
if they're like a bad person or something like that, they could scratch you?
If they're a mean
Have you
ghost,
seen that? Have you seen that
yeah.
personally where a ghost has scratched you before?
I have, yeah. Not me. They haven't scratched me, but another team
Right.
member. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's kind of creepy. And it doesn't mean that it's a possession. It doesn't mean that it's a demon. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that it's a mean, angry spirit that just doesn't want you there or just wants to shut you up, and they'll do it by bruising you or scratching you.
So can you convince them not to be that mean, or is it you just gotta go?
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry, you broke up.
I said so like how you just said with them scratching you, and it's not like, you know how like movies dramatize a lot of stuff. Is that a sign like, hey, I need to get out of here, or is it a way for you to talk to them and kind of like change their personality?
Well, there's no talking to somebody like that, but we don't back down. We never show that we're afraid, because then it's going to empower them. So you really can't. If something like that happens, you can't back down. You have to let them know that you're the boss. I'm out, and yeah, I understand that it was your home before, but we live here now. So you either deal with it or leave and go into the light. So you don't back down.
Crazy. Cow. Stretching and then just push you down the stairs or something like that. That's a little scary. You're walking up and down the stairs, and all of a sudden you just start getting pulled back. Like that's gotta be a weird feeling.
With this one particular case, the lady, what happened with this? Yeah, with a particular case that happened, this lady, she had said that her grandson was afraid to go downstairs in the basement because he said the man said he was going to beat him up if he did. And then she said, and a lot of times I kept trying to, I felt like I was being pushed down the stairs. So when she had us come in, she wanted us to see if we could figure out what was going on, because she was getting ready to rent the house out to a young couple with their young daughter. And she wanted to make sure they weren't going to get hurt. So when we went in, it turned out it was a mean spirit, and I didn't tell the team members what I already knew. And sure as shit, one of them was being pushed down the stairs, and the other medium was picking up that there was this guy downstairs in the basement beating the shit out of somebody in the past. And so it corroborated what the woman in the house had told me. And we ended up having one of the other come in and cleanse the house and lock the spirit out so that he couldn't come back into the home and hurt the new tenants. And when I checked back a few months later, everything was good and there was no activity after we did that. But it can get
So
scary.
So when you say cleanse and stuff like that, so how's that process and like, and when you say you got to lock something out, like how's that interact? Because like how you just said, y'all can convince some of them to go in the light, or some of them are just afraid that they're getting judged or something like that. So what's the process of like how you just said, like him being a dangerous thing, and like how she was about to rent it out to a family that has a little girl. Like, how's that go when you say you got to cleanse it and lock him out? Like, does that mean that's forcing him out of there? He has no choice, or is it
Yes.
he's got to go? Okay, that's interesting.
It's forcing him
Holy-
out and not letting him back in there. There are team members that are experienced in this sort of thing, and they've taken classes to learn how to do that. And yes, he has no choice when he is pushed out of it and it's locked. He can't get back in. I always get nervous though, because if you live in neighborhoods that are like track housing where the houses look the same, I always worry that if there is a similar home and you've locked a spirit out, does he go into one of the other homes? I've always been curious to find out if like
So you don't
neighbors
know if that's
around
ever
started
happened?
No, because I put it out there, ask your neighbors and tell them to let me know if anything happens and we'll come and we'll help them. But nobody's ever called, so I don't know. But it's always been in the back of my head, like, where are they going to go? If he can't get back into his house, is he going to look for a house that's just like his? I was always very curious about that.
So I have a brother-in-law, and he recently came over, and he was talking about his time in Japan. Well, I think it was China. He had an apartment. It was a real old, spooky apartment. Apparently, had an old lady there, and he apparently has seen her visually. Like he saw her, and he was slightly drunk or whatever, and he said he would walk up the stairs, whatever. He would say in her language, "Hi, old lady," and apparently that upsetted her. And
Really?
while he was walking upstairs, and he just saw her just staring at him, and she would just stare at him walking all the way up to the stairs.
But what made him think?
No, I think he was
What
because
made
he
him
just
think that
learned
in
language. He said because apparently how
okay.
she would stare at him, how like they get them like death stares, and they would just follow him all the way up until he got to his apartment, and apparently his door was left open when he woke up the next day. So I don't know all that, but I'm just saying, like, is that how you can visually see a ghost? Is it just
Yes.
they're running around, or are they just staring at you the whole time?
Every spirit is different. I mean, the spirit that I had in my home as a child, he would walk from my living room and he would make his way through the living room into my bedroom door and then stand at the end of my bed. Now, and that's where he stood until I put the cover over my head or tried running past him to get to my mom. So every spirit is different. It's like they're living their best life in the other side, on the other side, but not the other side. The other side, meaning that here, but not on the not in heaven. They're stuck here,
Right.
on the earthly plane.
Okay.
So,
that's interesting, for real interesting. So with you writing your books and stuff, is this based off of just the experiences like how you said in your town, and you said you got your third book coming out, correct? So
yeah.
what was the second book about?
There's Sussex County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena. Then there's Sussex County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena Part 2. Then there's Warren County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena. And then now having Sussex County Hauntings, Another Strange Phenomena Part 3 coming out around Halloween. But like I said, everybody likes a good ghost story. So the stories are history and ghost stories from the counties that I live in. But I have those other strange phenomena chapters that talk about other things like near-death experiences, people with their loved ones at their time of death, visitation from deceased loved ones, reincarnation, stories from ghost stories around the world, ghost stories around the country. So there's a mix of things in the other strange phenomena chapters. But people like the ghost stories, and I have a lot of photographs, and they love the photographs. So it makes for a good
Oh,
read if
okay.
you want
So
to
there's a lot of
hear
pictures of it
about
too.
true,
Okay.
yeah, true account hauntings. And then I have the website that people can go to and actually see more pictures, and they can watch on my YouTube channel the video footage that we've taken and or people have shared with me. As I mentioned to you earlier, people find things that happen around the house and they catch it on camera and they'll send it to me, and I have all of those videos and pictures and audio on my YouTube channel for people to go to, so they kind of
Okay.
get that paranormal experience feel after they've read the book.
Okay. That's interesting. So how spot on are movies when they talk about ghosts? Is it more just they just all way out of the loop on it, or is there anything that they tackle on that's true about these encounters and stuff like that?
Everything, including the paranormal shows that you watch, is embellished. It's made
Okay.
to entertain you. Want to entertain you. They want to scare you. That's why you're watching it, because you want to be scared.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 90% of what you're seeing is embellished because they're
Okay.
there to scare you and entertain you.
All right. I remember when the movie Paranormal Activity came out, and
Yeah.
I've never believed in any of that stuff. And when I first watched it, because I think it's just a movie, so we're like, oh man, it's supposed to be like a scary phenomenon or whatever. It was like a very long commercial at first because, it didn't have the opening titles or nothing. Like it looked
Right.
like a home video. And I was
Yeah.
just like, is this the movie? Like, what is this? And it was so long. Like, it was just so dread out. Like, you're thinking this happy family just moved in the house, da da da. They're enjoying themselves. Night one starts. They hear a door back and forth. Night two starts. The husband starts getting a little worried because his wife is freaking out somewhat. And then night three happens. He starts filming it because he was just curious or whatever. And then obviously it got worse every night. And then when night 13 happened, that's when all hell breaks loose. So
Right.
I was just like, what the freak? Like, it looked so real. Like, that movie looked
Yeah.
real. I mean, I don't get scared on a lot of scary movies, but the Paranormal Activity, that just freaked me out. Because I used to think that Katie girl was pretty until day 13. And it's like, yeah, you can catfish on out of that way. You can go. And I've even told people, like, if that was me, I said, I wish I could have done a parody version of that movie, because I bet you wouldn't be scared, because you would be laughing your tail off, because you'd be like, I would have done exactly what Warren did. Because first of all, if I saw a woman get dragged down the stairs, I'm not going there. I'm not going. You halfway down. I can't save you. You dare. I'm going in a pool because I know this possession thing, whatever, is not swimming or whatever this thing is. Hey, I'm gone. You got what you need. I'm out. Hey, I got the hint. I'm gone. You ain't got to tell me twice. I don't need no more signals. I'm good. Bye. Sorry, you brought it here. You done this to yourself. So see you. I'm out. I'm gone. Like, it's just these things. And I remember that scene where he goes down the stairs, runs to go get her, and you hear no noise. And I tell you what, when he got thrown into that camera, I was so fast out of my room, I literally think I ran through a wall. But the speed on my feet that night, I hurled. I remember we had this shelf right over here close to the door or whatever. I don't even think I opened the door. That's how fast I blacked out because when he hit that camera, zoom, I was gone. That part was so weird to me. And then I tried to rewind it back. I was just like, I'm done. Mom's like, what's wrong? I was like, man, this movie I watched, da da da. She's like, Warren, really a movie? I was like, I think it's a murder scene, Mom. I think this thing is being on A&E, whatever you want to put this thing on. I'm like, this man just flew and hit this camera. And Mom looks at me and goes, flew, Warren, really flew? I said, Mom, he went downstairs, you heard nothing, and just all of a sudden he pops back up in the air and knocks off this camera. That's all I saw. She said, what happened after that? I don't know. I ran through the room, so I don't know. So we go to rewind it, and it shows her walking up the stairs. I was like, hold up. She's the thing the whole time? Like, what's going on here? And then when she smiled at the camera and said, I'm done. I can't watch this. And then my girlfriend at the time, she made me go watch the dang second one, and it was just that long, extended out. Everybody's booing the movie. And then at the very end, like, go back to the extended long stuff. That's too much. And then I just stopped after that one. I was like, all right, the fifth, the sixth one, I was done. I told people, I said, if they were smart and done that franchise like they were supposed to have done, they paid those actors to stay off the camera because they wanted it to look so real. And I believed it for a while. And then when that second movie came out, and then when I saw Katie come off that second one, I was like, yep, I'm out. I'm not even, nope. She's like, are you serious right now? You could watch Jason, all them, and not be freaked. I said, yep, but I got something wrong with her. Nope. No. I saw what this woman did. No. I ain't sitting here in the theater and getting in the dark and think that something's about to touch me the whole night. No. So obviously for stuff like that, that's just the scary and stuff. So like how you said, there is some that literally just like, hey, you should not be here, scratch you or whatever, give you the signals to leave, get out of here.
Correct.
So when you said that one that you had to cleanse and lock out, is that the scariest experience that you've had?
Yes, personally, yeah.
Okay. And has that only happened once with something like that, or has that happened many occasions?
No, that's only happened at that particular. You mean like with somebody pushing and having to cleanse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that in my experience, it's only happened that once. Yeah.
Wasn't you a little hesitant to do it again after that experience or something like that, or was it more of adrenaline?
No, not even adrenaline. I'm with team members that I trust and know that we have each other's backs, so I'm okay.
Okay.
And plus, I don't go into anything unprotected. I mean, I'm always wearing my protective stones. Got a protective necklace. I have protective oils. I have protective rocks. We say a prayer.
So that keeps the ghost away from you? Is that what you're trying to say? All the activities, it shields
keeps
it.
Them from, keeps them from attaching and keeps them from following. So
okay, where can you get those?
I'm sure you can get them from any like metaphysical or spiritual shop near you, or you can Google them online.
All right.
Just put protective
this is
stones.
Crazy, yeah. Okay. I am. Okay.
Is really good.
So tell me about your third book. Are you allowed to talk about the third book? Like what's the settings and stuff about to be based on?
It's actually my fourth book, but it's the third.
Oh, your fourth book. Okay.
Yeah, but it's the third one in the Haunting series, and it's.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be finished with Sussex County, but people keep on sending me stories, so I have stories about other haunted places around the county where I live, and it's just people who have in private residences, restaurants. There's the Early American Tavern. There's the old Sussex Art Factory, the Get Juice Building. These are all just local eateries and establishments that are haunted, and people who work there have experiences. People who live in these homes have experiences. And so it just, I think before the time is done, I'm going to find out every building in Sussex County is haunted and somebody's had an experience in it. But it's fun writing the stories because the history is really interesting and the stories that people encounter are fun. I like a good ghost story. I love those campfire stories. So you can't resist it, you know?
Oh man. Yeah. Hey. I can tell you your phone is blown up around September to Halloween for sure. I'm
Oh
100%
yeah.
sure.
Yep.
And it's just in
Absolutely.
that area or all around?
All around. All
Holy
around. I have, like I said, I wrote Warren County Hauntings and Other Strange Phenomena because I had to stop because I had so many stories from that county. And now
Warren County? Okay.
yeah, and then
Oh
after
no.
this county is done, I'm going to write about Pike County, and I have stories from Passaic County, Morris County, Orange County, Hunterdon County, and if they keep on coming in, they'll eventually be books too. So
Okay. So how many encounters are basically in a book? Like from your encounters, you just talk about the encounters that you had, or you talk about the area and stuff like that. So like how's the story
yeah,
go with that?
I talk about the town, then I talk about the location history wise because people love to hear about that history. And then I talk
Mhm.
about the people's experiences. It could be the family that lives there, or it could be many experiences over time. For example, the Sussex Art Factory is a haunted building that's haunted by an artist that used to live in that area. And so it's many people over the course of time who have had experiences. And so it'll be all of their stories in that one chapter. What I
Okay.
usually do is if I get an account from somebody, I'll put it out on social media on the local pages and I'll say, hey, I have a ghost story from the Sussex Art Factory. Has anybody else had any experiences in there over the years? And the next thing you know, I have people saying, oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, I used to work there and the door always opened and closed on its own. Or one day I showed up and all
Oh,
the alcohol bottles exploded in front of my face, stuff like that. So then I end up writing all of those accounts down and telling the public when I'm writing the story what has happened.
the proof basically. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
This is really good.
And then it's even
Eleanor.
better if my paranormal team can get in, it's even better because then we get to
Yeah.
try. We can come up with some evidence, and then we do. That's even better.
There you go. So, is there one story that you really wanted to believe that there was an encounter and then found out there wasn't?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think if somebody thought it was because we do try to debunk things. We do if we feel like it's electrical or something like that, we will tell them that this is electrical. It's not anything paranormal. But I remember one time somebody had sent me video footage that she was hoping was her deceased son coming to
Hmm.
visit her in her home. She caught it on her footage in her home, and at the time, I had asked members of my team who I made their own personal assessment of it. My gut was telling me it was him, but I didn't trust my own judgment, which I probably should have because I did ask them, and the three other members at the time had said no, they didn't think it was anything, but I kept the video footage and it bothered me like crazy. And recently, within the last 2 weeks, actually, I showed it to professionals in the field that had met and said, could you do me a favor? This has really bothered me for a really long time. Can you tell me if you think this is something? And I always feel like the person should believe because if you feel like that's your deceased loved one, it is. It's them whispering in your ear. It's me, right? And I should have trusted my judgment because I showed it to these professionals and they were like, yeah, that's definitely something. I was like, fridge. So I reached back out to the woman. And I apologized profusely. And I said, look, I'm really, really sorry. I can only do so much. And I should have just trusted my gut. And I know I told you that it wasn't what you thought it was, but I've recently talked to professionals and they said it was, and I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted you to know that they do believe that it was something, and if you feel like it was your son, then I want you to trust your gut that it was your son
Mhm.
and that he was with you at that time. And so I feel really good about going back, fixing that. I learned a great and value that I need to trust myself. I need to trust what I get, and it's okay to ask everybody else their opinion, but I need to have the final say if it's in
Mhm.
my court
Yeah.
and in my hands about what I believe because um, I have to trust it. So
I like that. Eleanor, is there any last shout outs you want to do? Guys, the links are going to be below. You could check out her books. check out all her social media handles about the paranormal experiences and stuff like that. This has been eye opening. This is something I've never
Thank
knew
you.
of. Like I just had my brother-in-law talk to me about this, and I mean he was talking about something from China,
See,
which I've heard a lot of things
yeah,
overseas happen paranormal wise and stuff like that, but it's just like
yeah.
you get so much told stuff, and it's just
Oh,
like you don't know what's there and what's not. So
happens
this
around
has
here
been really
all
interesting to
the
know.
time.
This has
So
definitely
you can
been
go to
really
author Eleanor
interesting.
Wagner. Go to authoreleanorewagner.com. That's my website. It'll bring you to all the links and all the videos. But my YouTube channel, Ellanore Wagner, you can go there and watch the videos and stuff too. But I also have two podcasts. I have Ellanore Wagner's Creepin' It Real,
Hmm.
which streams right through my YouTube, Ellanore Wagner. And then there's Ellanore Wagner's Strange and Scary World, which is out of the Paranormal UK radio network. And of course, it's all things paranormal and strange. If you like to listen to that sort of stuff, tune in.
All right, Eleanor. This has been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. This has been awesome. You've educated me in so many different things. You are more than welcome to come on anytime. And this has been a great, great chat. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Guys,
Thank you.
thank you to the lady Ghostbuster herself, Miss Ellanore Wagner. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, guys, time to get the go home cue. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Ellanore Wagner for coming on today and giving us, wow. I'm speechless, guys. But thank you, Ellanore, for coming on and educating us with all that paranormal stuff. Like that was interesting as heck, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm about to check her book out for real. Like, oh my Lord. And just things she's talking about, the ghost scratching somebody, pushing them down the stairs. I'm like, oh man. So guys, if you have any paranormal encounter and if you're in the Bronx area and stuff like that, check Ellanore out. Definitely get her to see if it's paranormal activity, and if it is, guys, hopefully her and her paranormal team can guide them to the light. Unless if they're real bad, and then obviously they have to lock it in and kick them out. But that an awesome episode, very educating in so many different ways. Like, oh my gosh, like, whew. I'm like that kid right now when she was talking about that. I mean, it kind of helps me a little bit because, when we talk about the entertainment aspect, like with, possession movies and stuff like that, those are actually the ones that are being the real more scary ones nowadays because they look real. And it's insane to me. Insane. But guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you, most importantly, guys, I thank y'all for watching and stuff, but make sure y'all go ahead and drop a comment. And most importantly, guys, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms. Name and big one, YouTube. Obviously, I definitely want our subscribes to always rise up. Also, guys, y'all can check us out on Spotify. Follow us, man. Check out our forums. Go to every episode, every week. I do the live video version every week, Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That one's now from season 3 to season 4. I know everybody's been asking me about audio. About videos for season 2 and 1. I did not do video for those at all. So I upgraded after I think a couple on season 3, and then we've been on video since. But guys, also we have Twitch. We have a lot of ways of getting content for Buzzing with Marlowe, and especially now that we are now on Good Pods. So guys, make sure y'all subscribe to us on there. Follow us. I've got newer episodes every other week for the audio platform, just because of, I'm trying to remember exactly. I think there's a certain number of episodes you can upload in there, but we're definitely going to get that followed in. The day it just depends on how the weekend goes for me. Most of the times I can get the audio version done. I would say around 10 o'clock at night. About 10 o'clock that night. I know that's a little late for people to get podcast episodes, and I apologize for that. But it's just the matter of I got to get that involved and, be a husband, make sure I'm spending time with the family. Also, guys, shame on me if I did not say this. Happy birthday to my Mama Marlowe, the woman that birthed yours truly, and obviously my sister, Catherine Marlowe. Shout out to them. Also, shout out to my lovely, one of my best friends, Miss Ashley Edge. Her birthday as well. Love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy y'all's birthday. And I hope Mama and my sister enjoyed their birthday gift. That's gonna be an interesting one. Well, you know what? They received it on Wednesday because we did their birthday dinner on Wednesday. So I hope y'all enjoyed y'all's Reba McEntire tickets. You earned it. We love y'all, and I wouldn't be here without you. My mom's one of my best friends, my biggest supporter. Literally the craziest thing, the stuff that, the saying, you marry your wife, you marry your mother. My wife is almost damn near a spit image of my mom. Just not in a weird way, but literally what you look for in a woman. And I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have my mom. So happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And my sister as well. My mom's turning 30, guys. And my mom, she's a young one. She's a youngin'. Also, my sister's turning 8. So definitely love y'all and happy birthday. But guys, check out the merch. Get you some merch. Check out the hat. Support the podcast, guys. Go to bonfire/BuzzingWithMarlowe and get you some podcast merch. We've got hoodies, tank tops, long sleeves, V-necks. Ladies, we got the Razorback tank tops. I know it's getting a little cold, but hey, people still like to wear the tank tops around the house, stuff like that. They're very comfortable. I've never heard any bad complaints about any of the merch that we've had so far. So shout out to Bonfire, man. They've been hooking us up. They've been doing their thing. I'm very picky when it comes to merch. I meant from clothing as it is, guys. If anybody knows me, you see me always wearing Under Armour, Nike, all brand apparel. They have to be very good compression. Obviously, all dry fit 9 times out of 10. But I will vouch for Bonfire, guys. They're the material on these clothing are awesome. They're very well. I don't itch with them. There's certain shirts and stuff. When you get kind of stuff like this, when you put them in the wash, it itches. They're perfect. I wear these almost regularly, and it's awesome to actually know that it's got my name branded on these things and stuff like that. Most of the stuff I own was just, it said American Prodigy on it. So definitely it's really cool to have my house name into these things. But guys, check us out. Buy some merch. It is October, guys. Type in a promo code BuzzingWithPink10 and you get 17% off on your purchases. And that's only for this month. All the money, the extra money proceeds go into the Breast Cancer Foundation, Awareness Foundation, that we are going to be donating money. So far, we have raised over $135. A round of applause. Whew. I mean, that's amazing. Even if it was $50, I'm happy about it just because it's giving back. So that's one thing I love about it more than anything. Also, guys, check me out on the Commission Talks on Wednesdays and every other Friday with the 11:30 Talk Pro Wrestling. We come on there, chop it up about wrestling, especially about all the upcoming stuff that's coming up, especially knowing that Crown Jewel is going to be the night. Also, I'll be back in the ring in my of gear. American Project, the mask, the gloves, the sleeve, the trunks, everything. My new music. I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be time to get back into that groove. And all my main focus is going to be on that prick that decided he wanted to pop on this episode at the very opening of this thing. And I'm telling you right now, I am ready. Ready. I have been on the Against the Mats podcast. I have been on, too many shows right now. Too many shows. It is time to let this thing get figured out and let's go. He keeps waiting, and it's just going to be that one saving up more and more each time. Also, guys, we got Black Adam coming out Friday. I'm excited today. Black Adam is out, and I'm telling you right now, man, people from New York, y'all need to stop spoiling movies. It was not fair that y'all got that premiere, and then y'all sitting there telling everything on social media, so I had to shut it all down until today, so I could watch it and just be shocked and enjoy the movie, because I don't know any spoilers or anything like that, because I've literally made sure I made it that way to where I won't be messed up and I will be able to enjoy this movie. Guys, hope everyone has a great weekend. Be safe. Everything's getting ready for Halloween. I know a lot of Halloween parties are probably getting planned up. So thank y'all. We love y'all. And we will be back next week. Episode 109. Whew. Get ready. It's going to be a fun one, guys. But I'm Warren Marlowe from the Buzzing with Marlowe podcast. And I will see you when we have more down the road. Later. See y'all later, guys.